Good evening and welcome everyone. I'm Sheetal Rastogi. We are here for Cocktail Hour series by World Travel Magazine. Thanks for joining us today. I hope everyone is healthy and safe. Last week, we were in a luxury lodge in Sri Lanka, surrounded by wilderness. Continuing with this trend of being one with nature, we are at Datai Langkawi, a luxurious resort set harmoniously in a 10 million year old rainforest. During the 80s, Langkawi was a secret, and today it is shortlisted in almost every island bucket list. It's easy to like Langkawi. It's even easier to fall in love with Datai Langkawi. Let's take a quick tour with Celine and get a sense of Datai. Celine, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Datai Langkawi. I'm Celine Maginel, Director of Sales and Marketing, and I would like to take you on a partial quick tour of the Datai right now. Please follow me. So here you have our lobby where we welcome most of our guests and our emblematic and signature lily pond that is very famous by all of our guests, and especially our numerous returnees. Right now, the lily pond are not open, but in the morning you see them quite well. And at night, we have a lot of frogs that are singing in this pond. So now I'm going to show you the main building. We're gonna walk towards the main building on your left. So here we have all of our canopy collection rooms. So this hotel has been built in 1993 by the famous architect Kerry Hill. And if we continue a little bit further, because as Sheetal said, this hotel is located in the middle of a 10 million year old rainforest. Here you can see some animation, bird animation over our adult pool. And the building you see on your left-hand side, this is our Thai restaurant, the pavilion. And if you can see further away, I don't know if you see the island. This is called Tarutao Island, and that's in Thailand. So we're in Malaysia, 10 kilometers away. That's Tarutao Island, located in the National Marine Park of Tarutao. So as you can see, we're right in the middle of this rainforest. Further down, about 7 minutes walk down, you have our Datai Bay, which has been voted one of the 10 most beautiful beaches in the world by National Geographic. So this is only the little introduction of the Datai. I'm gonna hand over to you, Sheetal, so you can have more information with Arnaud, with you, our General Manager. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the ride.
Thank you, Celine. It was wonderful walking through the resort from here, and from Singapore we could see Malaysia, and from Malaysia we could see Thailand. That's fantastic. And as we see, there are million stories hiding in these islands. We will try to capture the essence of this land in our conversation today. We are here with Arnaud Jordan, the General Manager of the Datai Langkawi. Hello and welcome, Arnaud.
Hi, good evening, Sheetal. How are you?
Good evening. I'm very well. How about you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. I mean, how can I not be good where I'm sitting, or standing rather?
Yeah, and I see that you're surrounded in a very lush green environment. That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we are right in the heart of the rainforest right here, in one of our villa, our exclusive villa called the Datai Estate Villa, which was built after renovation, which we've done nearly a year ago. A bit more than a year ago. So yeah, I'm quite lucky to be in this environment, no question.
No, that's wonderful. And Arnaud, you've been here for over 5 years now. What made you fall in love with Langkawi?
Oh, well, I first, and I think, like you said at the beginning, I fell in love with the Datai itself. You know, it's really an institution in the hotel world. Back in 1993, when they built this resort, there were not many luxury resorts which were built right in the heart of a rainforest, at the same time adjacent to the sea. So from an immersion perspective and an experience perspective, as an hotelier where we love experiences, you know, this is a joy to work for. And then Langkawi, you discover it. You know, it's an island that requires discovery. It's not as much as in a map such as Phuket or Bali or Koh Samui, but it's far more natural, far less commercial. So it is a place that requires to discover. There is a lot of local art craft. There is a lot of local food that needs to be discovered. 99 islands right around, just around Langkawi. It's an archipelago. An amazing biodiversity, one of the highest concentration of biodiversity in the world. It's a UNESCO protected geopark. So many things to discover in Langkawi. A lot of legends as well. So yeah, it takes time to discover it, but once you do, and when you take time to, it's an island of wonders.
Yeah. And I see that there are a lot of islands surrounding Langkawi, so it's an excellent place for sailing. Do you have any recommendation for exploring the nearby island and the national parks? Because we see that from Langkawi to Phuket, it's a gorgeous sailing if one was to do. I think it takes about 10 to 12 days. Any recommendations to explore the hidden gems, different islands around Langkawi?
Oh yes, you have. This is an absolute sailing world, and that's why between here and all the way to Phuket, you have a lot of harbor and a lot of private yachts and a lot of private boats, sailing boats. Langkawi is surrounded. It's an archipelago of 99 islands. So already within Langkawi, we have plenty of spots for sailors to go, including undiscovered beaches. A lot of national park around Langkawi as well. One of my favorite ports for sailing is to go to a place called Hole in a Wall, which is basically a place that the sea gets into the land and surrounded by a mountain and rainforest. And when the sea retracts, it leaves the water intact where you can swim. It's very flat. It's very protected from the wind. It's absolutely phenomenal. Moving north from us, it's the Andaman Sea, and you can start your journey going through Kolipe first, Kotulatalo first, which is really 20 nautical miles from us, then Kolipe, which is really an hour by speedboat from us, and then going further north, you go to Koh Lanta, you go Krabi, you go Koh Phi Phi, and then you go to Phuket. And the archipelago on the Andaman, it's a postcard beauty, literally. Yeah. Above or underwater.
Yeah, and if one was to explore these islands in Langkawi, is it like taking a day trip coming back to Datai, or you sail for a couple of days, then come back to the resort?
You can do both. I mean, most of our guests use our own boat. We have our own sailing boat during the high season from December to April, where we take guests on a day trip. Not overnight, just to explore the surrounding islands of North Langkawi, and there are plenty, including the Hole in the Wall. But if you want to do some day trip, 2-3 days, day trip to go to Thailand generally, or to go to south, or towards Penang even, you can. And it's not very common, but a lot of people that own boats like to do that and just stay one night in a Datai where they continue their journey. Exploring the seas of the Andaman.
Yeah, and for city dwellers, access to nature is limited to city parks. You have an advantage here in Langkawi, where you are in the middle of an ancient rainforest that is surrounding the resort. What are some of the immersive experiences that are inspired by nature?
Oh yes, we breathe very well here, Shital, very, very well. So part of our renovation, we really wanted to make sure that we offer even more experiences nature-based. So we've opened a nature center right in the heart of the rainforest. We've created trail, and we've created experiences that are based on nature. Mandiam Moon, which is our own forest therapy, we take guests to a nearby waterfall through the forest. It's one of the very, very popular activities that we have recently introduced, based on a concept of based on a Japanese concept called Shirin-yoku. Okay, literally means forest bathing, which gives you a lot of health benefits. We also have introduced some trail in the rainforest with a canopy walk, where you can see hornbills, for example, nesting, and a few other very interesting fauna and flora. We've introduced another trail called the Poet Trail, where we put some poems inside trees, where guests can take either the yellow or the orange line and basically discover all the poems that we place in the rainforest. We've placed a permaculture garden in the rainforest as well, where we explain our guests how, through our sustainability concepts and recycling processes, we've introduced this permaculture garden. And we also do a lot of holistic activities within the rainforest or near the beach. Yoga, Tai Chi, we got a yoga pavilion right in the heart of the rainforest near the beach. So we've got, you know, a multitude of activities that are based on this luxurious nature.
Yeah, and if a guest was planning a vacation with family, with young kids, I see that I'm really inspired by the forest bathing that you mentioned. I think probably by just checking into one of your rainforest villa gives you that feel that you are in the middle of a jungle and being in the rainforest. So couples probably go for a forest bathing kind of an option, or other wellness retreats, and kids can go on these natural wonders that you mentioned, that small the nature center, and probably go with one of your naturalists to explore the jungles nearby.
That's right. We have a team of naturalists and marine biologists on site. We have a lab on site, and instead of most hotels, generally they like to do a kids club where you basically put your kids all day and then you take them eventually 2 or 3 hours after, and they generally watch TV or do Lego games. We've based our experiences for children on the rainforest, the sea, and the environment, right? So we have a lot of edutainment activities for kids and parents alike, if they want to join as a family, to explore the wonders and to make them sensitive to sustainability and protection of nature, right? So we have plankton activity, we have a lot of microscopes, they do games related to nature and understanding of sustainability. So all our activities are based on nature or sustainability for children. And that's also why we've created a nature center.
Yeah, and I think it's amazing to see that it becomes a very educational as well for kids, and kind of inculcates the habit of staying and building and living in a sustainable environment, and how they can actually take back these learnings from their holidays back in their city life.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's and I think it's going to become more and more critical.
Yes, indeed. To keep these rainforests pristine for future generations, like what we were discussing, what are some of these sustainability initiatives that you have at Datai?
Oh, we've introduced a very unique program about a year ago now, and we are doing an official launch by the end of the year, called the Datai Pledge. It's a program, a 4-pillar program, which includes fish for the future, wildlife for the future, youth for the future, and pure for future. These 4 programs are, Fish for the Future is basically based on ocean conservation, and I won't go to details because it could take the whole day. Wildlife for the Future is the conservation of our surrounding biodiversity, fauna and flora. The 3rd pillar, Youth for the Future, is an education program for local schools in Langkawi, where we sponsor 2 schools currently, and we are going to sponsor maybe a 3rd. And the 4th pillar is Pure for the Future, which is a sustainable program based on 100% recycling within our ground. So we send no trash to landfill. We recycle all the goods here, and we also now upcycle, where we have a center called the Lab, where we basically upcycle plastic, candles wax, glass, crushed glass, etc., etc. Yeah. So We do our own water. We have no single-use plastic policy. That's all part of Pure for the Future. We reuse rainwater harvesting. We do composting with organic trash. We've done a permaculture garden out of it. So that basically concludes the Datai Pledge program. It's a very, very ambitious program, and we are very proud of it.
Yeah. And do you see guests participating in these programs, not just during their visit, but probably post their holidays as well, where they can continue to support the initiative in some way?
Absolutely. We also, each of these pillars are supported by an NGO. So we support an NGO rather, okay? And guests, the whole idea is to get the guests to participate in this activity. So we have workshops for guests in the lab. We take the guests to adopt dolphin, for example, through our NGO. We ask the guests to rehabilitate a coral reef part of fish for the future, or to maintain a reef. We also work with the local community where guests can visit, especially when it comes to fishing. We ask the guests to plant in areas that are deforested, and we help to replant. We ask guests to also participate in the activities we do for the local schools. We use local artisans as well within the area where they can display and do artwork and workshop for our guests. So the whole idea is to really make the guests participate, young and old alike, in all the sustainability activities and experiences that we have created through the Datai Pledge program, and supporting the NGOs that we basically display and work with.
Yeah, and I think, like you mentioned, guests come back enriched, and I think it kind of a built-in practice, or probably a bit of habit in terms of where these initiatives in some way can be followed in our routine life when we go back after holidays.
That's right, and we have a lot of guests participating and asking us, you know, they do their own mini composting and their own mini permaculture garden back home, and they send us some pictures and recommendations on how to do better. And so absolutely, we really keep correspondence, and it becomes a very active concept.
And Adu, we are in current pandemic situation where different countries are in different phases of reopening, and borders, some of the borders are yet to open. How are you ensuring guest safety?
Oh, I mean, this is primordial. We've actually done a full SOP document based on this. We've created a video. We've had about a month of training because you obviously have to make sure that there's two things. One, you have to make sure that we adapt safety to the current pandemic. You know, be it social distancing, being wearing masks, being full PPE, especially with housekeeping, leaving a certain time between each guest in rooms, minimum of 4 hours after food disinfectation. Basically, you know, full cleaning of all our AC system, only opening outlets that have no air conditioning. So that there are a lot of all the back of the house training, the temperature check, you know, all the sensibility program that we place for our staff and employees alike, third parties, you know, suppliers, outsiders that come to the hotel. So all of that has been taken into consideration. But at the same time, and that's the challenge, is how do you adapt the safety to a luxury segment? And you know, there is no way, being the data, is that you can compromise on quality delivery. So that's where the challenge was. We've been thankfully very, very successful in doing so. We have received a lot of praise by the numerous guests, Malaysian guests, that are coming to our resort, who have been patronizing the resort since a month and a half now. And they feel very, very safe. And they tell us so. And every social media review, being TripAdvisor or our own customer feedback, mention about how safe they feel coming to that time.
Yeah.
Plus, Shital, I mean, where we are, it's 47 acres. So let me tell you, social distancing is very easy.
It is, I can already see that. No, that's wonderful. Arno, what would you describe cuisines at Datai? I'm sure you have a lot of local ingredients where probably these are grown in your own gardens at Datai. So what are some of the cuisines that you would really like to share today?
Oh, we have 4 restaurants that are, you know, in our own right very, very special. But obviously Gulai House, you know, is a bit of our pride. It's a Malaysian restaurant. It's located right in the heart of the rainforest. It's dressed like a very traditional kampong house, but all open, with light cooking stations. That restaurant utilizes a lot of local fishes. We are near the sea, so we have the fishermen that we work with delivering the fish on a daily basis. We use the plants that we have on our permaculture garden, and the spices and the plant and some fruits, little vegetables too. So all and gulai means curry, or type of curry in Malay. So we do a lot of curries. We also take advantage because Malaysia is such beautiful, rich diversity when it comes to gastronomy. So you have the Indian recipes, you have the Malay recipes, you've got the Chinese influence, you've got Thai influence in the north, you've got Indonesian influence in the south. So it's it's tantalizing your buds and your taste. Like yeah, it's not very, unfortunately, it's not very, how can I say, commercial yet, which is a good thing. So it is to be discovered, and I think Gulai House encapsulates this very rich gastronomic and culinary diversity.
Yeah, and what's your personal favorite dish?
Oh, I really like rendang, beef rendang. Yeah, it's well, it's a very traditional Malaysian dish, but it does this own variances depending where you are in Malaysia. But and I'm sorry, it's also very hot here.
No, I can.
So I need to sponge a little bit, which is great. So beef rendang is my favorite Malaysian dish.
Okay, and I think it's time for cocktail now.
Oh yes, it is time for cocktail.
What do you have for us, Alan?
Oh, I've got a fabulous gin-based cocktail. Okay. Amberata Fizz, which I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to have to go through the Datai Estate Villa to take you to inside into our little bar within the villa.
Sure, let's do that. Sure.
Let's do. Right. So we are walking through our part of the Datai Estate Villa.
Yeah.
As you can see, we have 2 pools. It's a 5,000 square meter villa altogether. Yeah, including ground and landscaping. And now we're going to get into the lounge. It's a 5-bedroom villa. We're going to get into the lounge and the dining room area. This villa also possesses its own bar and little pool area.
Yeah.
And that's obviously my favorite spot.
Okay.
Right.
So we have a cocktail session here now. Okay.
And we have a cocktail session right here now. Chital, I want to introduce you our Datai Gin. You know, where the cocktail that we're going to do today, called Amereta Fizz, is basically using. We distill our own gin in Italy, in one of the oldest distilleries in Italy, in Piemonte. This distillery has been basically established in 1895. We use 5 botanicals, including coriander, in our gin, and it's been very, very popular. So the cocktail which we will make today, and the barman is currently busy making it, called Amereta Fizz, basically has 5 millimeters of sugar, 15 millimeters of lime juice, 45 millimeters of the Datai gin, 30 millimeters of kedangdong. Now, kedangdong juice, let me show you. It's a tropical fruit that is found naturally in the rainforest. You know? And this juice is sweet but bitter at the same time and slightly sour. Yeah. Once we done that, You basically put soda, you top up the soda, and obviously it's busy making it right now. And you will use as garnish dried lime and another natural garnish or little fruit called assambol, which is basically rainforest prunes. Not sure if you can, can you see them, Shital?
Yeah.
Right. So it's natural prunes that are found in the rainforest, which gives a little bit of sour taste as well to the drink. So, and Umbrella Fizz is basically our own creation of gin fizz. Yeah.
Yeah. And this gin you mentioned, Arno, are guests able to buy it as well, or is it just for in-house consumption?
Oh no. We've already ordered more.
Okay.
And we only introduced it post lockdown on the 12th of June basically, and we've already we have stock down already. A lot of guests are buying it. It's a very special. It's a very, very special gin. We do our own vodka as well, and soon we're going to do our own rum.
Yeah.
But my favorite is the Umbrella Fizz. So I just wanted to share it with you today.
Sure.
As you can see, it does look like a gin fizz. Okay, it's our own interpretation of it, far more interesting. And we are using two local ingredients basically: the kamangong, which I mentioned earlier, and these little prunes.
Yeah.
That is on top right there. Yeah. So.
Cheers.
Exactly. Cheers.
Cheers, Andrew. And I think we are just waiting for our borders to reopen here. And probably Malaysia is the first place I think we all will be headed to. And I'm sure, like what you mentioned, Langkawi, you're already seeing a surge in domestic tourism where Malaysians, the locals are traveling. And I think it's been excellent response post-pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, it does. I mean, I'm actually very surprised myself. And I mean, it's obviously nowhere near where we are open fully and with all the borders that are open. But considering the challenge, I'm very happy and delighted to see so many prominent Malaysian guests patronizing our hotel and also becoming regulars. Since we reopened, most of our guests have already come back twice and sometimes 3 times. And you're talking a month and a half or 2 months now, which is fabulous.
No, that's really encouraging. In fact, that's where we launched our cocktail art series as well, to inspire our viewers and readers that, what they've been missing out. And the moment borders reopen, I think we all are looking forward to traveling again.
And I think it's a great idea because you obviously get to know from a different angle various experiences and various places in the world and local habits. So I think it's great.
Yeah,
and you can have a nice drink too.
Nice drink as well. Arno, are we able to take a quick tour of the villa you are in?
Absolutely. So I'm sadly going to leave my little bar area.
Sure.
Thank you, Zul. Yes. Yeah. Our head barman, Zul, who created the drink.
Thank you.
Yes. Now I'm gonna take you to the master bedroom.
Okay. So these are 2 separate villas connected via this bridge?
So it's 2 separate villas connected, a 3-bedroom and a 2-bedroom. And you can make it as one. So we separate the pool with a door in the middle. So the pool becomes a 40-meter pool when it's together, or a 25 and 15-meter pool when it's separated. And mostly they take it as a whole because they bring their extended family or friends. It's totally secluded. It's totally exclusive. And they can do their private barbecue by the pools or the parties, and
yeah,
the estate is them. Yeah. Now we're moving to the master bedroom. This bedroom is 150 square meters on its own, right?
Beautiful. That's gorgeous.
And it's, as you can see, it is surrounded by rainforest. So it's really, you have your own forest therapy when you wake up in the morning. And we have a very, we like very large bathroom at the Datai. That's one of our trademark. So the bathroom itself is 70 square meter. So, and again, the whole idea is to take a bath in surrounded by rainforest.
Yeah, that's beautiful, and huge space and beautifully decorated. The interior is amazing. I think that's Malaysian architecture.
Yeah, and it's been done by the architect that originally did the interior of the interior design of the Datai when we renovated. His name is Didier Lefort, who basically did Datai when he first was together with Kerry back in 1993, and that's redone the Datai in 2017, 2018. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna go back to the lounge area. So obviously this villa possesses their own butlers, its own kitchen, its own chef. So as I said, it's a very secluded and inclusive villa.
Yeah, so guests can actually have their breakfast. They don't need to go to the restaurant, have their breakfast here, and probably have one of your chefs provide or make meals here in the villa itself.
Absolutely, that's the idea basically. They also we also have a room, what we call a modular room, where if a guest, for example, would like to have a spa in his own villa, we transform this room into a spa room, a gym, children room, yoga room, holistic room. So it's a multi-purpose room basically, which guests can tell us in advance what they prefer.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Arnaud, for showing us the interior. It looks gorgeous. Do you have any message for our viewers, Arnaud, as we wrap up our session for today?
Well, yeah, there is one thing I like to say, Shital, is that obviously I have a lot of friends in Lebanon. I've worked there. So my sympathies go to all the Lebanese people which have been hit by a terrible incident yesterday.
Yes.
So I like to pass on my sympathies and prayers to all my friends and families that are in Beirut right now. So that's one thing that I would like to say today. And also that despite the dramatic situation of COVID-19, you know, we are all gearing up throughout the world to welcome tourists again. You know, hopefully this pandemic will be behind us in not too long distant time. So places like these, experiences, hotel experiences, the world of traveling will start being busy again, and we are very much looking forward to it, and very much looking forward to welcome all our guests worldwide back.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Arnaud, for joining us and taking us on this refreshing journey in Langkawi.
Thank you for the opportunity as well. Thank you very much.
And thanks to all our viewers for tuning in. We hope that you enjoyed this evening. Do join us next week, Wednesday, same time, as we bring another exciting destination live for you. Thank you so much once again. Have a wonderful evening. Goodbye.